it's Brendle, and today we are going to go over our February monthly budget. So I first wanted to start off with this page that I finally set up last night, actually. And this is a guide for me with bills that are not monthly or like changes that happen. For example, in February, usually our mortgage increases. Technically, it can decrease, but with property values going up, it usually increases because it contains our property taxes. But so I kind of take a look at this to see what I have coming out. So I have my Cricut Access coming out, and we have a BHA, which is Backcountry Hunters and Anglers that Matt likes to donate to. That the last time we donated was 3 years ago, and it's like a 3-year membership, and that expires this year. And he's gonna do a 1 year and then look into getting a lifetime one next year. But we'll kind of go from there. So these are just things we need to think about when we are setting up and deciding on our February budget. So now we're gonna flip to February. Here's the monthly layout. Then we have this page, and then we're gonna set up the budget on this blank sheet. Actually, let me get the stickers. I'm trying to use this little pouch back here because I normally forget about it. Okay, so the kit I'm using is Blushing Hearts. So I'll be using the monthly kit, the weekly check-in, the 4 paycheck breakdown, sinking funds, and then debt review. These kits can be found in my Etsy shop. There's going to be a link below. It's Brendle stickers. So let's line this up. So the monthly kit, I wanted to kind of show how these lay down. So this is a 7x9 monthly planner from Erin Condren. And it is what I've been using for the past few years. And I love it. I will say, it's kind of crooked. I will say I just found out that Happy Planner has kind of a similar layout that I might want to look into, but it's undated and it's an Amazon exclusive, so I'd never knew about it. But I want to check that out to see how they specifically line up. I mean, it's a 7x9 also, so it'll fit. Width-wise, I just don't know how it would fit inside the lines, but you don't always have to keep them in the lines if you don't want to. I need to look back to January's to see how it lines up, so I can get the spacing right here. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. How's everyone's new year going so far? Now we're ending January already. I know everyone talks about this, but man, January went by fast. 2, 3, 4, 5. just double check. And then put a little decorative sticker down here. Ta-da! So on here, there's a few extra stickers here. This is if you wanted to, instead of just going like fixed expenses, variable, you can do 2 columns. I did a little test sheet right here. So here's what it would look like if you use the 2 little ones at the bottom. And then you could add little notes at the bottom with the bullet dots at the top or what have you. I usually put I usually put budget notes on this page. I haven't set it up for January. It probably won't, there won't be too much to it. I'll just put it right here. And then whatever I put right here is what helps me for the next year when deciding or when setting this page up. So that's kind of how I use it, but if you don't have that page in in the book that you're using, you can kind of set it up like this too. So use it however you want, honestly. Okay. So let's dive into our monthly budget for February. So we have combined, and then our fixed expenses are mortgage, Tacoma, our phone bill, life insurance, internet, Netflix, and Hulu. And then for variable expenses, we put a lot of it into our sinking funds. And then we have groceries, sewer and garbage, and restaurant. And then in extras is where we put savings. Okay, so then what we are going to anticipate our month looking like, we'll put under budget. And then at the end of the month, we will go through our actual numbers and see what kind of variances we have. So for combined, we lowball our income significantly so that we have extra money throughout the month for little things that go up. But we also, with budgeting with a smaller income, we make sure that we can still pay our bills and have a little bit left over for savings. So for combined, we budget $5,400. And so this also helps with variations in time worked. Like if there's overtime, we don't have to stress on, well, how am I going to budget that? Well, we've already decided that we can pay our bills with this amount. And so anything extra can be used for any of the goals we have. Savings, or if there's something that we wanted to buy that maybe didn't fit into our budget. So for mortgage, this, like I mentioned, we have a potential mortgage increase. So we are going to just guess that maybe it's going to go up like $50. Last year it went up like $15, but we just kind of want to be safe. So we're going to say $1,230. I think this is actually like $49 more, but I wanted an even number. So for Tacoma, We pay $590 each month for that. Our phone bill is $152 for our 2 phones. Life insurance is $38. Internet is $30. Netflix is $10. And Hulu is $2. So this is $2,052 for fixed expenses. For sinking funds, we plan on putting $2,217. Groceries, we are estimating $700, and our groceries includes food, paper products like paper towels, toilet paper, and cleaning products. So that's all in there. Sewer and garbage, we are estimating $79, and restaurant, we are going to estimate $100 because we set a yearly goal to have date night once a month, and we scheduled it for the first Saturday of every month, and so we will go out for that. And then also Valentine's Day is in February, and we always go to breakfast, not necessarily on Valentine's Day, but at some point that's our tradition of just going to breakfast. So our total variable is $3,096. And our savings this month is $252. So total extras is $252. So that is what the monthly budget looks like. And now we're going to move over to sinking funds and kind of dive into this $2,200. And it'll be on the other page. We're going to set this one up. So this is the sinking funds page. And very similar. And if you don't have a lot of sinking fund categories, that's totally fine. When we started categorizing with sinking funds, we didn't always do sinking funds. We made the categories, but we didn't always contribute to them. So if you look back, in 2020 is when we started. And that's when you can see we had all the categories. They've changed a couple over the few years, but we didn't always add anything in them. So let me see where this lines up. Okay, yeah, so it goes just down here at the bottom. And then I have these. So on these kits, they have like little extras. A lot of them have the little squares. The monthly budget has the circles. And I don't normally use them on my budget, but I wanted to have like little icons to use. But I was thinking these could be used on the monthly layout to like check off when bills are paid. So you could put them before. Actually, I think I saved room for that. So let's do that right now. So then you could check them off. Use this pink one. There! That's kind of what I was thinking, is you could use these little squares next to the monthly budgets the monthly bills that you have, and then you can check them off as they come. Okay, so sinking funds is all laid out. So we're gonna list out all the categories. So we have auto insurance, auto maintenance, beauty, car tabs, clothes, and this one is going to be for me, and then this one's going to be for Matt. I highly suggest having a clothes budget and separating it out, because previously, before we had these categories and we were specifically allocating, we would schedule our bills of what would come out, and then whatever we had remaining was just like a lump sum. And sometimes it works for people. I mean, it worked for us for like 5 years, and then we decided to do the sinking funds and categorizing them. And so now that we have these categories, I feel like Matt actually buys more clothes for himself. And before, I feel like he never bought clothes for himself because it was a lump sum, and he's like, well, I don't want to spend any money on myself, especially just on clothes. So that's where I really think budgeting gives you a little bit of freedom. Like, no, this has been allocated to clothes. You can spend it on clothes. Like if it's in the budget, then you can spend it. So next we have Costco, which is for our yearly membership. We do have the executive membership, which gives you cash back. So we use that cash back directly towards our membership. But I like to have the amount of our membership in here just in case we don't get enough cash back and whatnot. So next we have dogs. They get their own category. We have 2 dogs. Electric. So this is a monthly bill, but it varies so much. Could put it direct in the variable expenses on the monthly budget, kind of like I do sewer and garbage, but sewer and garbage varies $1 or $2, and so that's kind of why it's in here. The electric will vary. It'll go down to $50, and then it'll go up to over $100, and it's just a drastic change. And so we put in our sinking funds, and so I take the total from the year, divide it by 12, and then that's how much we take out of our monthly budget. And for the months that the bill is lower, then it'll kind of build up a sinking fund cushion so that when it's over $100, then we can pull from the sinking funds that's been accumulating throughout the year. Next, we have entertainment. Next, we have fitness and health. Next, we have furniture. I think I mentioned in one of my videos recently that we were hoping to get it for a couch. It's still not in stock. I call almost every day, and it was supposed to be there last Friday. It was at the depot, but then she looked and she's like, it hasn't went to any of the Costco's even around us. I would only go to the Costco in our state. We're really close to another state, but the taxes are 3% higher over there. And for a small purchase, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But for a couch where you're spending $1,700, 3% kind of is a difference for sure. Next we have gifts, and we split this up between, I say Christmas, and it's more like December because we throw our anniversary in there also, because our anniversary is 2 days after Christmas, but it has a set aside amount that we're going to spend during that month. And then we have gifts, which is in general, which can be for literally anything we spend on anybody else. Next, we have home extras. So this is anything that doesn't stay with our current house. Like, it's not a permanent change or something that we add to the house that if we move, we couldn't take with us. Next, we have home improvement. And so then this is the other end. This is things that are in direct relationship to the house that we're currently living in. Like our fence project this year is going to come out of home improvement because we're going to put the fence up. And then you don't take the fence when you move. It stays there, that kind of thing. So next we have hunting. That's for all of Matt's hunting things. That's where BHA will come out of that I talked about in the beginning. Next we have medical. Next we have office supplies and books. And then we have outdoors. So this is more about things for hiking, mountaineering, that kind of thing that we both do. Or like kayaking would go under outdoors. So that's how we separated it, because in the previous years we did combine hunting and outdoors. So we separated that. Next we have technology. And that is where my Cricut access, Matt doesn't use Cricut. That's where my Cricut access will come from. Also, I am wanting to get a cover for my Kindle, and so that will go in there as well. Vacation is next. And last we have our water bill. This is every 3 months. It's a quarterly bill. So that we put in here so then we can slowly contribute every month. So this is our beginning, which won't be filled in until after January's over. So next we have our budget column. And so that's what we're going to go over right now. It's what we expect to put into each category. And then we also have an actual. And so this is what we end up putting in, because throughout the month, if we don't have enough in a category, then we either use what we had wanted to put towards savings or what we decide to allocate from the extra money that we get throughout the month. So I like to have an actual because for us, what we put in our sinking funds changes every single month. We are not a one and done. It's set. This is what we're putting in our sinking funds. We keep it more flexible and we change it. So that's why we have 2 columns there. And then spent is how much we spend out of all of these categories during that month. Last is ending, which we would take our beginning, add what we actually put into the category. What we spent from there would give us our ending balances that we will roll to the next month. So today we're just doing budget. So for auto insurance, that is fully funded, so we won't need to add anything towards. Auto maintenance, we are adding 100. Beauty, we are adding 200. And this includes basic hygiene also. So shampoo, conditioner, deodorant. It also includes beauty, such as my makeup. I have wax appointments, like everything like that. So that's all in there. Card tabs, that's fully funded. We have, I think 1 card tab is due this year. We're able to buy 2 years. So they're usually on a 2-year cycle. But I want to say the Ninja that we just bought, even though we bought it last year, the plates transferred from the motorcycle I had before. So I think the 2 years is up this March. But we have enough in there. Next, we have clothes. We are adding 100 for each. Next, we have Costco. That is fully funded. We don't need anything in it. Dogs will get 100. Electric, we are budgeting 95 each month. Entertainment, we are budgeting 100. For fitness and health, we have quite a bit in there. so we don't need anything. Furniture, we are adding 200. Gas, we are adding 250. Gifts for Christmas, we fully funded that in December. I think it was in December. Yeah. Gifts for everyday items or holidays, we are just doing 50. Matt and I don't really do Valentine's gifts per se. We'll buy each other cards. He might buy me flowers, but nothing like huge. Next, we have home extras. We are adding 100. We want to buy another set of sheets. We have like mismatched sheets, but we have one set that we like on our bed. We literally wash it and then we put it right back on. So I kind of want another one that I like. Next, we have home improvement. We are adding 200. We spent some money out of it in January, and we just kind of want to recuperate it in February. Also, Matt needs to look into getting our sprinklers looked at and just kind of evaluated. We have somebody come out and turn them on, do the backflow test, and then in the winter they do the blowout, but we want somebody to like go through all of the heads and check the lines and that kind of thing. Next, for hunting, we are adding 200. So again, that's for the BHA we're gonna get. And then Matt is looking into a holster for his pistol. Next, we have medical. We are just adding 50. Office supplies and books, we are adding 100. Outdoors, we are adding 100. Technology, we are adding 50. So the Cricut Access we already have saved up for, and then this 50 will kind of go towards a Kindle case, and then there'll be like a little bit remaining for anything else that we may need. Vacation, we are adding 100. And then next for water, we are adding 22. So if you add all of this up, we would get $2,217. Okay, perfect. Next, on these next pages, we're going to put the weekly check-in and the 4 paycheck breakdown. So let me double check how I lay this out. Even though I've been doing it for a few years, I still forget. Okay, so we're going to put the weekly check-in here and the 4 paycheck breakdown here. So let me just set up the weekly check-in. It's kind of the same process with the nice big header strip here. And I usually try to line it up with this top line to the best that I can. Down the weekly check-in, little script. That kind of blends in a bit more than I would like, but it's kind of how it goes. So I'm gonna need to flip back. So we skip a line. 3, 4, 5. Okay. So skip a line. Actually, I should see how many weeks we have. So let's see, for February, so it looks like we still have 5. So normally I would put weekly check-in here, but I put stickers over that. So let's put them on this side. I don't know if I want to put it on that plastic part or not. Or maybe I could put it right here. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. trying to like angle it, but I don't know how well it's working. I just do Sunday to Saturday, so that it just makes it easy for me. But you could do Monday to Sunday, you could do Friday to Thursday, like however you want to lay out your week. It'd be pretty easy to do like start it on Friday if you get paid on Fridays, like weekly, or options. Okay, so now let's go back to this. We don't need to spin this around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this I should say, I started using it again. I used to use it when I first started, and I thought it was pretty helpful, mostly so that I could have the weekly average at the end to kind of let you know how much you could spend each week with what you had remaining. So, for example, like for groceries, we have 700, and if you divide that by 5, I don't know what that is off the top of my head. 700. So that would give you 140 each week, which at the beginning of the month is good to know. But say the first week you only spend $70, then you have a new remaining, which can then be spread out and let you know that you could spend a little bit more each month, or each week, sorry. Or vice versa. You say like that first week you spend like $200, then you only have $500 for the last 4 weeks, and instead of being able to spend 140, you can only spend 125. So it just kind of gives you an idea throughout the month what your weekly average can be. So then I put, let's put these little bows. I love these. They're so cute. So cute. All right, so technically that last week only has 3 days, but that's okay. I kind of like to try, it doesn't always work, to use this last week to kind of set us up for our groceries this first week. So for example, in January, we have a little extra for groceries. And so I meal planned for the whole week, and then I bought groceries for the whole week. But I spent it in January, so it'll technically get allocated towards January. And then it sets us up for the beginning of February, so hopefully we don't spend everything in the first part of the month, but sometimes it doesn't always work out like that. So that is how that is set up. I normally do gas, groceries, and restaurant. And I think that's probably what we'll do again. I could add beauty to that, or no. We'll just stick with those 2 categories, or those 3 categories. So first we have, hold on, what is the order I like to do this in? Gas, groceries, and restaurant. In alphabetical order. Gas, groceries, and restaurant. So those are the 3 categories that we will monitor each week. So now we're going to put down the paycheck breakdown sheet. Looks like this. So if you put these stickers down crooked, they are technically removable. So you could lift them back up and move them. I wouldn't say necessarily reusable, like if they sat there for a while, like a whole month, they might be not as easy to remove. But if you put them down on accident, you can pull them back up pretty easily. Paycheck breakdown. Put our categories. And so this is one of my favorite sheets. It really helps to figure out how we make sure our bills will be covered by the income that we get throughout the month, because we're not just paid at the beginning of the month and then we can just pay all the bills. So we get paid pretty close to once a week. Technically, both Matt and I are bi-monthly, so we get paid twice a month. It just kind of lines up at least once a week, but it's not always like every Tuesday or every Wednesday. It's sporadic throughout the week. Let me open up January's so I can lay this down right. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, no. I need to put this here. I was like trying to get ahead of the game, but I messed up. Okay, so there's that. And then we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 total variable. And then we'll put our extras down here and we'll put balance right here. Okay, so, oh, that is definitely crooked. There we go. Much better. So for this sheet, I use the one that has 4 paychecks, but I do have one that only has 2 paychecks. So budget is kind of scooted over, and then there's 2 columns there for paycheck 1 and paycheck 2. So you don't have to use the 4 paycheck one. There is one for people that just get 2 incomes, or not 2 incomes, 2 paychecks a month. Okay, so I am gonna fast forward this part and add the categories and the budget that we literally just went over right here. I'm gonna add it here. So I don't think you want to sit through me talking through it again. So I'll be back.
Hold my breath just so I can hold you close. closer. Hold my heart just so I can feel it break. I'm a lot, but I would never be a loner. To never love in all of my days. Lit is my darkest, love is the hardest. But faster I go.
Okay, so I am back, and we're gonna look over our monthly budget. And so here's where we have a payday on Wednesday, payday Friday, payday Wednesday, payday Friday. That kind of lines up, but it's not always as perfect as that. Like, let's see, January was Sunday, Tuesday, Monday, Wednesday. But February actually lined up quite nicely. So we will add what we roughly expect for each paycheck. And then we will go through what's going to come out of paycheck 1. And so we have to kind of be aware of this limitation here. So in the first week, we honestly only have Hulu. So we will just put $2 there. Since we only have Hulu coming out, we are going to look at some other items from our sinking funds. So for electric, I believe that's not till actually later. Yeah, that's on there. So that's fine. Hunting, that is the donation that we were talking about. And so we will pull that from the beginning, which for the 1 year that Matt was thinking of doing is $35. Next, we have technology, and that is for the Cricut Access, which is $102 for the year. And then for gas, we're putting, where'd it go? We're putting $250. Right now, we're not using that much, thankfully. So we are actually just gonna pull $100 from the first paycheck, and then we'll pull another $100 from probably the third. And then for groceries, we split this up also, and normally in the beginning of the month, we go to Costco to buy anything that's on their sale ad that we want, and then to stock up on some things. So we will pull $200. Sewer and garbage isn't until later. And then we have restaurant, which again, our date night is that first weekend of the month. Then Valentine's Day is shortly after that. We'll just pull the full amount at the beginning. So we have it. And then with this amount, let's see, we have 2, 3, 4, 500, not quite 600. So we still have a good chunk left. So we are actually going to split up our mortgage, and we're going to save $430 out of that first paycheck to cover part of the mortgages. So our total fixed expenses for that first pay period is $432. And then for variable, we have $537. And so if we take our income for that first pay period, $1,300 minus the total fixed expenses minus total variable, we're going to have $331 left. And I've mentioned this before. I think I mentioned in every paycheck breakdown video. This is not extra money to spend on whatever, because again, in our budget, we've already allocated all of this income. So it has to go towards some of this by the end of the month. So we will take this $331 and we will just save it for paycheck 2, and then go down the list from there. So in the second part of pay period, we have life insurance and electric, and I think we'll probably just pull Netflix just to have it ready since it's so soon after the paycheck. So I said life insurance, Netflix, oh, and electric. Okay, so electric will come out of this second pay period, and we will do want to say it's like 130. It's pretty high in the winter time and in the summertime. It's pretty much in the transition seasons that's not as high. So we have that. And then for groceries, we'll pull another 200. And we've already allocated restaurant, so that's good. So then for total variable, we'll just do 330. Those two. And then for total fixed, again, we haven't allocated very much of what we have remaining. So we're going to pull another 400 for mortgage. So for our total fixed expenses, it'll be 448. So we can take this 1731 minus 448 minus 330, and we have 953. And that can be held over until the third pay period. And we do this as a guideline. So say in this first week, we want to buy a gift for somebody, and so we pull it out of our sinking fund, say it was like $100, then we would just note that we took it out of our sinking funds already, and then we would only hold over the 231. So for the second to the last pay period, we will look to see what's coming out. We have sewer and garbage and the Tacoma. So Tacoma is a big chunk, 590, and sewer and garbage is 79, and groceries. So we've already done 400, so we'll just do 150 for these last two. Oh, and then our second gas withdrawal. I almost forgot about that. Okay, so our variables will be 329, and it looks like we have 5, 6, 7, 8, about 900, and so we still have a big chunk. So we will take out the remaining for mortgage, and then usually once we hit that point, that's when we'll pay it, even though it's not technically due until the end. As soon as we have it allocated, we'll just send the payment out because I don't want it to sit in my account. So for total fixed expenses, that will be 990. And so then if we take our total that we've accumulated so far, or subtract out 990 and 329, we will have 934 remaining. So that will be held over. And then this is where the last paycheck, we need to make sure that we've paid everything. So we can add these up, and we know that adds up to there, so we don't need it. Tacoma is already done. Phone bill, that is actually in the last section, so that's going to be taken out. Life insurance has already come out. Internet needs to come out. And again, that's on here, the last day of the month, so we're still good. Netflix is good. Hulu we've already done. So then the total coming out of fixed expenses is 182. And then for sinking funds, we still have to pull out the remaining. So we would add how much we've already taken, the 130, 35, 102, 100, 100, and anything else that we've done throughout the month, and subtract it from the 2,217. So then we would have to put 1,750 into sinking funds. Then we've already done the groceries. Sewer and garbage is good. Restaurants are already good. So then coming out of the last paycheck for variable expenses is 1,900. And then we'll do 252 for savings. And so then if you take this total minus fixed expenses minus variable expenses, you would get 0, which means you've allocated your paychecks throughout the whole month to all your bills, and everything is good and straight dandy. And so this just kind of gives a good guideline. As I mentioned before, some of this stuff we do put on credit card, but I like to make sure that we have the cash in our bank account to pay for it. And then at the end of the month, we pay our credit card bill and transfer all the money around that we need to our savings, to our sinking funds, and that kind of thing. That is what that looks like. The only other thing that I haven't gone over is the debt review kit, and I don't think I'm going to put it on camera because this is already a pretty long video, but I usually put it right here. So that'll go right there, and you'll see that at the end. Not at the end. At the February recap is when we will go over how our debt is doing. And yeah, so now that that is done, I wanted to give you a peek at April's budget kits. I do make them universal, so they don't necessarily have to be used in April. You can use them for whatever months you want. And I'm trying to like stay ahead so that you guys have time if you want to order them and get them before the month comes. So I have two different styles for April. I have Sweet Swirl and Sakura Season. And the Sakura Season is the one that I will be using this year. I used this one actually last year because I had created it already, and it has the monthly budget. So again, if you really like this and you want to use it in May, if you want to use it for February, if you want, like whenever you want to use it, it doesn't matter. But I want to make sure that I'm offering 2 each month. So it has a monthly budget, sinking funds, debt review. So here is the paycheck breakdown that just has 2 paychecks. So you only have 3 columns there. Here's the one that I use with 4 paychecks. And lastly, the weekly check-in. And it's the same over here, but I kind of want to show you it. We have the monthly budget kit, the sinking funds, debt review, 2 paycheck breakdown. So there's only 2 columns, and then the budget column, 4 paycheck breakdown. So when you're ordering these, just kind of double check that you're grabbing the one that you're wanting that fits your budgeting style. And then weekly check-in is right here. I am so excited for this kit. I am absolutely in love with it. It's so cute. I like this one too. I just used it last year, so I want something new. But I still love this one too. It's very cute and swirly. So I hope you take a chance to check out my Etsy shop. Leave any comments that you have. Make sure to like this video. Make sure to subscribe so you can check out the new videos that I'll be having up. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.